No, it's the.
Boom.
I'll try to find music that matches that.
I just gave you music.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of F3 the Union, State of the Union. We have a very special guest, the Hymn of the Month, Respect Q Vixen. Super excited to hear just a little bit more about him. Pumped for him to get this award. Long time coming. Kind of call it the summer of Vixen, I would say. Man was crushing it left and right. So well deserved. Happy to have him on. As always, you got Shrink kind of running point as your mediator / host, and Jenna behind the board, making all the pretty sounds happen. I am just going to be on here real quick to hit you up with the 29 seconds with the Nantan, and then I'm going to peace out so that these guys can have a good time. Before I jump into 29 seconds of the Nantan, anything from you fellas?
Just happy
Excited
to be here. Hey, no, I said it first.
Whoa,
Get off my lawn. Oh, no, I'm going to break out an old one. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
If you're wondering how original we are, there was.
Well, when you talk to each other so much, you talk like each other.
Actually, I watched a video. Listen, guys, we're working really hard today not to take tangents, but I watched a video on YouTube about how within relationships you develop your own unique dialect. And so like within marriages and friendships and groups, and it's not just like, weird terms like we have in F3, but even just like turns of phrases and ways you say certain words. And one of the ways you can assess the depth of your relationship is by the breadth of your unique vocabulary within your relationship.
That's pretty cool.
Now you know.
That was a fun fact.
Yeah. That should make it. That was a good one.
Mango bango.
Mango bang.
All right. So let's go ahead and jump in with 29 seconds with the Nantan. Tonight's topic is going to be about culture. So we touched on culture a little bit here and there over the past, call it 7 or 8 months. In our last SLT meeting, I told the guys that I am doubling down on culture because I firmly believe that if we can build the culture and sustain the culture that we are trying to put forth, that this region will flourish more than it has already. So, Shrink, you got a timer?
I sure do.
It's been a while since you've been able to time me.
Oh, I'm excited for it.
Right.
You better believe. We start buzzing. I'm talking over you immediately.
Let me know when you're ready.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
We have a desired culture, encouraging, gritty fun, but you don't get the culture that you proclaim. You get the culture that you practice, promote, and permit. Culture isn't what you occasionally talk about. Your culture is what you consistently do. Nothing is more powerful than when leaders cast vision on a culture and then go and do what they say the culture is. Be a leader. You get the culture that you practice. Then you must promote the culture, and you have to talk about it daily. You have to celebrate it. You get the culture that you permit. If you permit it, then you promote it. Make your culture a reality. It takes all of us.
If you permit it, you promote it. That's dope.
Amen. Amen.
I even started slowing down because I thought I was like doing well, and then no.
You got cocky.
Plenty of videos of runners doing that towards the end of a race, just letting off the gas a little bit. You can't do it, man. You can't do it because that which you permit, you promote. So, Jenna, I guess people want to know more about what's happening in the union and less about our opinions on things.
Don't they hear that every single day at the end of the COT?
That's what I assumed. There's an entire part of the COT dedicated to announcements. Is there a whole time dedicated to us talking about what we think about things?
Soon to come.
Yeah. You know what, guys? You told us, you told us we aren't allowed to do it anymore in the podcast. We're doing it at COT then now.
It's going to be way more annoying.
The Shrink and Jenna show. Every COT. 6/16 to 6/23. All right. Well, time for the beloved announcements. These have been fact-checked even more than the upcoming presidential debate will be. These are fact-checked announcements for some events coming up that are going to be a great time. I'm going to lead with number one because number one is the event that I'm going to literally be leading. This is the F3 Fantasy Football Combine. And that is going down Saturday, August 31st at the Plant. And if you are interested in playing fantasy football, hit up the Fantasy Football Slack channel. $25 buy-in. Jen A is our commissioner. He's going to talk about the draft up next. But before that, know this. The Combine this year, I've heard rumblings that we're going to involve actual footballs this year.
Ooh.
So that's what I'll say. And you should play, if nothing else, just for that.
Is there still going to be a mental test?
There will 100% still be some form of a Wonderlic test.
That was my favorite part of last year's was the multiplication table or whatever it was.
100%.
So why are we doing the Fantasy Football Combine if only for the league? And why are we doing the league if only for the most important part of the season, which is the Fantasy Football Draft, which will be occurring on Labor Day, Monday, September 2nd at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be PPR. You heard it here first. We don't even have the league set up yet, but by then it'll be there and you'll be there and we'll be drafting and it'll be a great time.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. The night of the draft is the one night everyone is convinced they can still win.
It's true. Everyone's in it, man. Until about the fourth round.
even you, Uniball, even you.
Especially you.
All right, so we've got the Combine Saturday, the draft Monday.
So we're talking a lot about American football, but what about football?
Football. Speaking of football, on Tuesday, September 3rd, from 4:30 to 10 o'clock, we will be hosting F3 night at Marysville Junior Varsity and Varsity Soccer games. We're going to have men there volunteering to serve at the concession stands, and also some 2.0s and or packs out there serving as ball boys as well. There were some questions asked about if you need to know the rules of soccer to be able to be a ball boy. The answer to that question is no, you do not. All you got to know is when a ball goes out of bounds, give the ball to a player and you're good.
And you'll know out of bounds when you see it.
It's one of those things where you know it when you see it. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but I'll know it when I see it.
We've got 4 slots for each game, covering concessions and ball boys. Right now, we're pretty light on JV ball boys, so that's going to be the 5 p.m. game. So
yeah,
if anyone's hanging out there, that would be super helpful to get some more participation on.
Yeah, right now we're in the midst of fall soccer here in town, also out in Richwood, and probably in Bellefontaine. And so if you've got a small kid, 3, 4, 5, 6 even, who's involved in soccer, this is a great chance to get them out and let them see some older kids play soccer, have them learn some skills. You can even, maybe do some recruiting for your fantasy football team, high school fantasy soccer teams. That might be a thing. If I can make some money on it, I'll figure it out. I have 100% thought about putting money on youth sporting events, though. Like you want to involve some dads, just put a few bucks on the game. They will suddenly be very invested.
It's in the pipeline, ethical high school gambling. It's in the mix.
I think we're moving in the right direction.
It's gonna be a good fun evening, but you're gonna have to go to bed right afterwards.
Yes, you will.
Because the following morning at the farm or the dock, if you're in Richwood, bright and early is going to be the very first IPC. It's going to be a series of challenging beatdowns that at first you're probably not going to think that you're going to finish. And you're going to probably get like 1/3 of the way through it and really not think that you're going to be able to do it. And then you're going to surprise yourself. You're going to keep going and you're going to finish it, albeit maybe sometimes a little later than the time you normally leave. But it's a big mountain, and you just climb it one step at a time, and you get to the top, and you can't believe you did it. So
that you do.
Definitely sign up for it if you haven't. Just keep chipping away. One rep at a time, 1 week at a time, and I think you're going to be super proud of yourself getting through it.
100%. IPC is the Iron Packs Challenge, and it is just that. It is a challenge. I distinctly remember 2 workouts. One, like you said, Jenna, where what time? 6:15 came, and I was like, I still got another lap to run, and like I don't know what felt like a million man makers to do. And I was laying on the ground on the track, and I was just like, I'm done, record my time, I'm out. And this was 2 years ago. Soft tissue comes up beside me, puts his hand down, and I take his hand. I bring my hand up, he yanks my hand, pulls me up, and goes, get your ass out of here and start running. And so I took off around that track for my last lap, and then did some man makers. And the man makers, what I remember from that is Gio helping me find that rhythm of just, I remember saying, down, legs out, press up, down, legs out, press up. And it's like you have to just go into a rhythm and just find the rep and get after it. But it'll be memorable. It'll be good. And it'll be a great chance to kind of challenge yourself and see where you are physically.
Absolutely.
And in the midst of September, when we're doing all the hard work at IPC, we also are going to have some times to just be, guys being dudes.
Yeah.
For our second F Friday, September 13th, I've heard we still need a queue for that. It's still open. So if you're interested in hosting maybe a bonfire in your backyard, picking a restaurant locally to grab a drink or two, head out to a bowling alley, some sort of second F gathering. That's going to be Friday, September 13th.
Yep. And if we pick ill-mannered, make sure that everyone's on the same page of which ill-mannered it is.
You know what? Believe it or not, we're probably going to do the one in Marysville, not the one in Powell. Probably.
More likely than not. And as fun as that's going to be, it's just going to be a warm-up to the ultimate second F of the entire year. The christening, the karaoke challenge, the man camp, September 28th, Saturday, hosted by Last Call. So it should be a really good time. Sounds like Last Call has a little bit of land out there to go and do manly things with and on. And it's if you haven't experienced it yet, you need to. And if you've experienced already, I'm sure you'll be there.
Yeah, man camp is what it sounds like. If you're wondering, it's like summer camp for dudes for 18 hours. That's it. We just whatever you think.
No counselors.
Nope. Just the dudes. The prisoners are running the camp.
Yeehaw.
And the night before, based upon interest, we're likely going to do a 2.0 dad camp the night before. So that's going to be Friday, September 27th, dad camp. Same place, Richwood at Last Call's property. Going to be a chance to get out there the night before, bring your kids, get your tent set up. We'll do hot dogs, we'll do s'mores. I'll lead some games. We'll do some kid type outdoors stuff. I suspect that some of you Richwood guys can probably teach kids how to start a fire and bale hay and how to till a garden and do, this is unrelated. I still think about strippers' backyard like regularly. I'll be sitting in this room right here and be like, what if behind me there was just some of God's green country behind me right now? That would be amazing. And instead, I've just got a neighbor right there and right there and right there. So, stripper, if you're listening to this, man, just know you have found you're living rent free, living rent free in my mind right now. Your beautiful property, that setting sun behind you that night was just everything I wished I had. So
figured out.
You can have some of that at Dad Camp and Man Camp, September 27th, 28th, 29th.
Yes, sir. And Man Camp originally kind of revolved around the origination of the Union and, just F3 within Marysville. So with that, we're going to have the anniversary queue on October 5th. So come out for that. It's always a fun celebration, and it's a good way to kind of mark another trip around the globe doing this crazy thing in the morning with a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, crazy to believe that we're back at the anniversary.
It's we started with 2 days a week, right?
Yep.
And a little more than that now.
But we've grown, baby. We've grown.
We've grown. The men within the group have grown. The number of men have grown, and it's really, really something to watch. So good job, everyone, for being a part of it and pushing and growing.
Yeah. October, that's the anniversary. It's going to be a great morning. I'm sure we'll get together for a good workout, likely led by our site Qs. Give them a chance to really get out in front and put on a workout for us. And then we'll have some second F time together in the morning as well before we all head off to youth football and youth football.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's about time then that we get Vixen back on here and chat with him. Hit up that interview.
What's up, Vixen?
Vixen, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Oh my God, it's Vixen.
It sure is. Vixen, you are one of the few people who I think just has a legitimately cool name.
Agreed. I think of it as Vixen, like the reindeer.
Oh,
okay.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer.
Vixen.
Vixen.
So I'll tell you, I actually was referencing your literal name. Like John Fox is just a pretty...
That's a cool guy name for sure.
True.
I have a friend whose name is Philip Fox, and I've never thought to ask if you're related. I'll ask you later. He has 2 kids though, and I've known him for 5 years, and it wasn't until last week I realized he named his kids Wren and Falcon. So he has a fucking animal last name and gave his kids animal first name. So what are your kids' first names?
Mine are all out of the Bible.
No,
I have Noah, Enoch, which isn't that common.
It is not.
Levi, Bethany, Josiah, and Jacob.
Ooh, are we at 6? 6?
6 kids, yep.
I did not know that about you.
Yep.
That's all the more impressive.
Wow. You've got 6 kids. Man, and then you've got all us to deal with too.
You guys are like my kids.
And the Columbus kids and your church kids.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. All right, well, Vixen, let's hop into it, man. Speaking of your actual name and then your F3 name, if you could tell us a bit about your first beatdown. So, who EH'd you, who got you out there, and then where'd your name come from?
Well, it's funny because nobody EH'd me.
Oh.
I saw a church bulletin announcement. It's one of those things you think, man, I'm gonna get out there, and you just don't. Day after day, week after week. So finally I saw this church announcement, and it was, 5:15 in the morning. I'm like, that's perfect, because I have to get out and go to work, so I can't do anything.
Not many guys see 5:15 and think, perfect.
Oh, it was. I was so excited. And then, of course, free is like, yes, that's right in my budget right there is free. And I actually, I showed up at the Red Zone on, I got in touch with VP himself, Brent Couchman, because that was the contact there. And I was like, I'm thinking of coming out next week. So he did EH me. He's like, oh, no, just come out this week. Why wait? He's like, go ahead and get started. So I showed up at the red zone on a Wednesday and slowly realized, oh, I thought it was Thursday. I mean, I was thinking the day was Thursday and I was there on a Wednesday, and I'm like, oh well. So I showed up that next day, Thursday, and it was good. It was a good beatdown.
Wow. All right. So you pushed through, persevered, had to come twice for your first day.
Yeah.
So where'd the name Vixen come from?
Just from Fox. I didn't really have any great stories to share or anything, but I think Fox is what stuck with them. So
is there a story in retrospect you wish you would have told?
Ooh, that's a good question. Something like, I could have been my boxing days. I did some boxing when I was in college. Yeah. But it was like the stupidest thing I ever did in my life.
Wow.
It's like, hey, tell you what, I'll punch you in the face, and then you punch me in the face. Ready, go. I mean, it really, it sounds like it's going to be great. This was back in the days of Rocky and all that stuff. But then
how'd you get into it? Was it like an elective or like just
I started with as an elective. Yeah.
Okay.
This was like a boxing class in school.
Yeah, when I was in college.
We've become soft.
I mean, hey, there might still be a boxing elective. Who knows?
Man, Vixen's out here. When Vixen was in school, they had a class. Just you stood up next to another man, and they said, "Hate each other."
How competent do you feel coming out of that class? Like better than like no training, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, mostly you learn a lot of blocks and things like that, kind of using the other guy's strength against himself.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Did you have any official matches?
This one, he always put me against this big guy, and his name was DePaulo. DePaulo. That's a cool name, But then he was a big guy, and I'm like, I don't want to go up against this guy.
You sure it wasn't Apollo Creed in like a bowler?
Right, I think it was in disguise. Yeah.
Wow,
that's awesome. So we got we've got you as a boxer, and then we got Gucci as an MMA fighter. So like,
yeah.
If it hits the fan, we're covered.
Have you ever had to use your boxing skills outside of the classroom?
Or inside of the classroom as a teacher? No, I never have. I never have.
I'm about to say we might have our first story we have to edit out so we can keep Vixen employed. Wow. All right. So Vixen the boxer, named from a fox to Vixen. I missed that naming. I don't know how they got from fox to Vixen. Like a foxy lady.
Yeah.
Oh,
Vixen's a lady fox.
I always think the reindeer also. I've never once thought like sexy, foxy Vixen.
And sometimes in the past, I've had a nickname of Foxy. Some people would call me Foxy in the teaching world.
Okay.
I've gotten that as well. I don't even have Fox.
So Vixen, as VP alluded to, the Summer of Vixen. Tell us a bit about the Summer of Vixen. What does summer look like for you? What changes have you been making?
Well, you guys really inspire me. I love having the contests, and I know we're not really competing against each other like July Queens, but I want to win. I do. I want to win. So part of that, for me, it's kind of like a game. If there's a game and I can play it, I want to win. So really it started before July that I got real serious, because you're in trouble when you avoid the scales. And finally I got on the scale and it was like 243.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, dude. And I saw it. I felt it. The joints are going bad again. So I thought, man, I got to get serious. So I did. Started eating clean, attending more of the, workouts with F3.
Yeah.
And just kind of maintaining that and letting you guys encourage and inspire me, keeping me going. It's so funny. Even when I was in Florida in the middle of July, all by myself, I could hear voices of Knievel or Precious or Gucci, right there from workouts we had done, where they're like, come on, Vixen, keep going. Vixen, don't look at the time. Vixen, don't stop and walk. You don't really need to yet. Those kinds of things. So really, it was being carried by a whole group of guys.
Yeah.
And, losing 50 pounds, having joints that work well now.
Yeah.
It's at this age, 58, in case you guys don't know.
Respect.
Yeah, at this age, my siblings, my co-teachers, they're getting surgeries right now. The hips, one's getting a hip in, next month, or the knee or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to go there. I'm too young.
Yeah.
I'm too young. And being with you guys is keeping me young.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, you're speaking to the power of a group.
Yeah.
Right? And the way that I think it's just the idea of entropy, that a group that large and that strong, it just begins to pull people into it, right? And once you're pulled into it, it's like the gravity of that will propel you in situations where on our own, right, we might think, I can't keep this up. I can't lose, you said 50 pounds?
Yeah.
Right? 50 pounds over the course of how long?
Let's see. It started, wow, I have the date downstairs. So I think it was the middle of May.
Wow.
And then on through,
over the course of about 3 months or so.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's awesome. And there was a 5K in there somewhere too, correct?
Yeah. I was, kind of building up to that 5K level.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones that Gucci got me to. He's like, nope, we're going to do it, Vixen. Let's get that 5K. Oh, and then I remember this was, I had done some work before the workout, but I hadn't clocked the miles. And then we started the official workout. And I was like real discouraged because I'm like a mile short.
Yeah.
In this 5K thing. And Little John came up beside me. He's like, Vixen, there's no way that's true. And that's when I realized, oh man, I forgot to clock a whole mile plus.
Yeah.
So it kind of got me right to the finish line. I was like, man, I did it. Didn't even know. I was ready to be discouraged and give up. And again, Little John comes up beside me and says, no, you are there. Let's do this. It was great. It was a great moment.
Yeah. Awesome. That's a great example of seeing a goal and conquering that.
Yeah.
Love that. Vixen, whenever we've had a chance to interview or I get to talk to Respect Packs, a question that I always like to ask them comes from the idea that, there are people that are further ahead of us in life, and they may not know the exact steps that we're going to have to take as we get into our 40s and into our 50s, but you've certainly traveled down some paths that we're going to be moving down ourselves as fathers, as husbands, as leaders. So Vixen, what do you wish that someone would have said to you when you were in your 30s, when you were in your 20s?
Wow. I think a couple things. Number one is make sure you are a part of a group like this, because it's easy for a man to think he has to go solo.
Yeah.
I've got to take care of this. I can do this on my own without really connecting with other guys. And really, I mean, it's kind of funny, but we just had a 30 for 30 Tuesday. And one of the things that kind of came up and was a revelation for some of us was, I don't have to do this alone. If that's what's being said in my mind or in my culture, that's not true. When I wanted to do my workout on my own before, it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So I think a big thing is be connected in a real way with other men, physically, mentally, spiritually, and dudes, just having fun sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't believe a group of grown-up men are 5:15 in the morning laughing, playing, having fun. It just makes me like, man, this is the way, look at what life can be like. And then I'm ready for the day.
Yeah.
I'm ready to work hard and to have fun for the day.
Absolutely.
So be part of a group. Be part. Don't lose that.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great encouragement and reminder of the importance of knowing others and being known by
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
You mentioned the idea that you've tried to convince yourself in the past that you could work out on your own, you could do it solo, and we all certainly have worked out on our own at times. But I know for me at least, there's no way that I would ever push as hard on my own as I do with somebody next to me,
Right. Right.
right? And you've given examples of that even over the summer of Vixen around how being pushed by other men moves you to do even more. Now, I wonder, Vixen, from your perspective, do you think the same thing applies outside of physical change, but in other areas of life? Meaning, when we're around other men who are challenging us and pushing us to do a little more as a husband, a little more as a father, a little more as a leader, does that have the same effect in your opinion? And if so, how does that look?
100%. From an old man perspective, when they say, what does an old man need? He needs physical activity.
Mm,
He needs social connections. He needs mental stimulation. He needs an opportunity to serve and be useful. And
yeah.
F3 provides all of those things. And I think the biggest place where I see the evidence of the whole, this is not a physical, get strong, be a man kind of thing. I mean, that's the intro, right? Or the
Yeah.
piece of it. But several times I've had the opportunity to speak to the M's of some of the packs
Yeah.
and to say, hey, your husband has been a great encouragement to me
Mm,
in
Mhm.
this or in that. And
mhm.
I'm thinking I'm the one sharing with the wife, hey, look, your husband has really had an impact on me. But then the wives, the M's, always are coming back to say, oh, the change I see in my husband
Mm,
is incredible.
yeah.
The M's want us to be part of this. Mine certainly does, and the ones I've spoken to certainly do,
Yeah.
because they see men who are better husbands, better fathers, better workers, better
Yeah.
leaders, better servants.
Mhm.
So, wow, talk about a man transformation.
Yeah.
It really strengthens what God intended us to be in so many different levels.
For sure.
Embrace it, embrace it, embrace it.
Yeah. Uniball said recently, he said, his wife, Julie, he goes, Julie came up to me last week and was like, hey, I like you all the time, but when you go to F3, I really like you. So when can you get back out there again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. That's awesome. So, Vixen, another question for you is around the idea of the third F of faith and giving back to the community. You work as a teacher, a job that is remarkably self-sacrificing. You volunteer here locally at your church. You've been actively involved in a number of F3 volunteer events. My question for you is a pretty straightforward one, and it is why? What is the value that you find in service and volunteering? What's your why there?
Hmm. That's a good question. And for one, we're created for that. When
Mm,
I feel like I'm being useful and making a difference in somebody's life, that's amazing. As far as the teaching in Columbus City schools, many, many of you know that I was really discouraged a year and a half ago. I mean, the system was pressing down on me, the broken system. Um, but even with Sunday school, sometimes you work hard and you pray and you plant these seeds, and sometimes it's discouraging. It can be, um, but it's real interesting. Just Tuesday, when Alice was sharing some things, I had to kind of really dig deep. He was talking about the negative voices in our head that say you're not making a difference, or you can't make a
yeah.
difference, or those things. And I realized that's not true. That's not true.
Mm,
And it inspired me to work even more diligently, more faithfully. So when I serve, I love serving kids. I love praying for you guys, just so you know, especially those with the young kids, the
Yeah.
babies. Been there 6 times over. It's hard. Just kind of pray and support you, and I feel blessed to be able to participate in your
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
It's not just me and my little troubles and worries, but it's us, and we get to participate. But again, it strengthens me to, F3 has a big focus on that third F of faith, and go out and serve.
Yeah.
And when I do, with the right attitude, I am so blessed. I am
Yeah.
so blessed.
Very much so. Yeah. 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 It's about the attitude with which you enter into those opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You referred to yourself as an old man, and what I thought was I came across this idea that I think it's so true. We are a culture of many old people, but few elders.
Hmm.
And I would say, Vixen, you are not just an old guy. You are an elder.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something remarkably different about that. Someone who's not just old and wishing they were young again, but someone who is older and desires to use the wisdom, the experience, the strengths, the skills acquired to build up those around them.
Amen.
And so what I wonder from you, Vixen, is when you were younger, and maybe even still today, who's someone in your life that was an elder to you? Who did you look to? And tell us a little bit about that person.
Okay, well, when I was in college, Bill Rankin is his name. We named our second son Enoch William after Bill Rankin.
Oh, wow.
We named our daughter after his wife. Her name was Carmen, so Bethany Carmen is my daughter. Anyway, he and his family had a huge impact on my life. VP has a lot of things in common with Bill Rankin.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Rankin, was older than me, but he took it upon himself to take young men under his wing, to encourage them, to push them, to teach them to serve, to lead a holy life, to do the right thing. He really dedicated his every day. And I see that in F3 too. What a rare thing. I mean, we have church, many of us, once a week, maybe twice. We go to work, but you're busy. But F3 is like, wow, you can go every day and find fellowship, support, encouragement, mentoring there. Anyway, so Bill Rankin was somebody who, and we did physical things. Every New Year's, we would put the shorts on and go jogging down to Ohio State campus. And in fact, I just visited it last week, the William Oxley. I don't know if you know it, by the library there at Ohio State. There's the statue of William Oxley, and we would run up there, and in the wee hours in the gloom and the cold.
Yeah.
It was good memories. And wow, I wish he could be here to be part of that, Bill Rankin.
Wow. Wow. If you can remember back, can you recall any particular words or messages, or what was Bill's thing? What if there's one thing he seemed to want somebody to know? What was it?
834.
Yeah.
In the Gospel of Mark 8:34, Jesus said, "If anybody would come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me." That was Bill Rankin's message.
Wow.
Even, I know it seems he passed away when he was 50, crazy heart attack thing, but he preached at his own funeral. So it was a sermon he had given on Mark 8:34 that he preached at his own funeral, encouraging everybody, follow Jesus, take up your cross, deny yourself, do hard things.
Yeah. Wow. What a challenge that is.
Yeah.
Man, I think we can all only hope and pray that when we pass away, if someone's ever asked, what would that person say, right? What's their message that someone out there would that quickly be able to communicate something so impactful? Well, yeah, talk about leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, Vixen, as we move towards wrapping up the interview, I wonder, as far as workouts go for you, if you can recall one, what's a particularly difficult workout you've been to, or a PAX who you know is always gonna get you on fire, get you smoked? What comes to mind for you there?
Wow. I'm still working on the burpees. Got to be careful with the joint. It's kind of funny, but going too fast just isn't too good for the joints. So I kind of slow things down. So burpees are always a killer. We just on Tuesday did ding ding. You know what I mean when I say ding ding?
Oh yeah.
And it's something Uniball had done. Wow, probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, a while ago, but it's, you're rucking every 60 seconds, the beeper goes off and you do a squat, then you do 2, then you do 3, then you do 4. And we repeated that just a few days ago. And it's so funny. Everybody, the muscles, anybody that's done ding ding, 2 days later, you're feeling it. And you need to stretch it out and work it out like that. So times like that are awesome.
Yeah. There is something about those workouts that are so, dually physically and mentally challenging.
Right.
Yeah. I can't recall who did the very first workout like that. I suspect it was probably Uniball.
It was Uni.
Jenna, were you there? It was the very first one. It was just running. It was back and forth. It was like just 15 yards.
I heard about that one. I have not done that one, but I'm pretty sure it was Uni.
And the thing that I remember is I lasted the longest, and I still remember when I quit though. I remember thinking I probably had one more in me. Right? Like there's something about that style of workout where it's like you're just consistently challenging yourself. Like, can I do just one more? I can do one more rep, right? And it's like that consistent, continual challenge. That's how we grow.
Yeah. And I have to say, on the other end of things, often being the 6, wow, guys have been great with pushing me along, picking me up, but keeping me going and moving me forward.
Yeah.
Even more recently, having lost the weight, guys like Knievel and Jill, I challenge them to a sprint, 100-yard dash or 200 yards.
Yeah.
But they give me like a 5-second head start.
Yeah.
So it makes it competitive.
Oh yeah.
So man, I can push myself as hard as I can go, and they're pushing themselves.
Yeah.
So it's like, I enjoy that.
Oh,
to me, that is exciting. I'm running as fast as I can, and so are they. And I lose every time, but it's awesome. I do. It is awesome.
Beautiful.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Well, when they come running by you, you got to just flail just enough that you knock them off balance.
Get that foot out. Come on.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, Vixen, a place where I'd like us to wrap up tonight is around that idea of doing hard things. So what's one thing right now in life that is hard for you? What's a hard thing that you're currently doing that we can try to encourage you on as we see you out in the gloom?
That's good. It's during the summer, I'm still working. I mean, a couple different jobs, and then, working on the house and things like that. But having the school year start up, it's like, wow, it's a big hit. The knee swells up a little bit because I'm standing, that 8 hours a day on the hard floor. And I even last weekend, I was discouraged last weekend. I'll tell you, I was doing my mile time because I'm trying to beat 8 minutes and 40 seconds, which is my, I've kind of been working it down. But I started teaching. My throat was tired. I was doing it a little too late on a hot day, and I kind of had some asthma reaction. It was really discouraging. I'm like, man, the knee's swollen, the asthma's gone. Let's just quit. Let's just quit. That's how I feel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But then, Monday, guys are there encouraging me. Tuesday, I'm hearing just the words I need to hear from guys. Sometimes big words, sometimes just small encouragements. Even today, I'm getting lapped by Precious when we're doing exercises through the field. And, but he's right there saying, come on, man, we got this. I'm going to go to the end with you.
Yeah.
Man, knowing that you guys are there, there's no way I can quit.
Yeah. There's something about knowing that there's someone there suffering with you.
Yeah.
Right. And witnessing what it is witnessing the work that you're putting in also.
Yeah.
Man, there's something unique about that experience. And I'm with you. I think we're all made better by each other. And made better by the chance to be together out there in the gloom.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Well, Vixen, do you have any final closing thoughts for us tonight, sir?
I guess I gotta say a big thank you to you guys. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a haul. It's been up and down. It's been pushing hard, and I love the hard commit because I can click it and I'm there.
Yeah.
But the reason I can do it is because other guys are there. There's no way I could do it if there wasn't a group there that was going to be there to meet me every single morning.
Exactly.
So thank you. A huge thank you. I'm serious. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, on behalf of the men of F3 the Union, you are both welcome. And we thank you for being not just an old guy, but for being an elder that we can look up to, who can give us some information about what's to come in the path ahead for us.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, thanks for everything. And we look forward to seeing you out in the gloom.
I'll be there. Okay. I'll go ahead and sign out then.
Yep. See you, Vixen.
Okay.
See you,
Thanks,
Vixen.
guys. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's a wrap on another episode of F3 State of the Union. Very good job, guys. Appreciate all the hard work that you're putting in here to do this for the region. I really hope everyone who listens finds value in this. It's our way of an events page, right? We're spread out. We're in Bellefontaine. We're in Richwood. This is a one-stop shop you can get monthly where you can learn a little bit about your fellow brother in the gloom, and you can also get caught up on what the happenings are in the near future. So thank you, Vixen. Again, awesome job. Don't stop accelerating on just your summer of Vixen. I know you won't. But that is, like I said, that is a wrap. So remember, always be accelerating. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you.
15 minutes.
See ya.
Yeah.
See you, dude.